Hey, it's John Clark here. I'm going to show you some of the cool things you can do with vGraph and dCap. So the first thing we're going to go do is spin up a dCap server on port 8082. And then we'll need to spin up a test client. So we're going to go ahead and instantiate a vGraph instance called repo1, and we're going to have all of the commits we make to it replicated to that centralized dCap server on port 8082. So go ahead and spin that up, and we'll pull up that example client. And it's just very basic. You can create a person, create a relationship, commit some changes, make some edits on the graph. We're going to go ahead and spin up another instance of that, running its own instance of vGraph. This one will be called repo2. Put it on port 8081. Go ahead and get that up and running. There we go. So we have repo2 and repo1, and they're both communicating and replicating all of their commits to a central dCap server. And they are also polling that dCap server for new commits. So let's go ahead and create a person. Bob Freemer. Let's go ahead and create that. Represented by a nice little node here. This is in D3 on this side. We can go ahead, let's just go ahead and commit this one. So we just say added Bob. Go ahead and commit that. And then you'll notice on this side it'll show up and it says, oh, look, there's a new commit, added Bob. And we can ignore it or we can patch it. So when we patch, what we're doing is we're taking that commit that we applied on repo2 and we're applying it to our local instance of vGraph on repo1. So let's go ahead and patch that. So there's Bob Freemer. Now, if we know some more information about Bob, let's say we know his age. So we'll go ahead and put that in, 82. He's an old guy. We'll go ahead and save that, and we'll say added age to Bob. Go ahead and commit that. And that information comes back over to this side. So we could patch that, or we could ignore it. In this case, let's go ahead and ignore it. I don't care about age. Ignore it. So let's go ahead and add some more people. Let's add a Jane Doe. So we'll go ahead and add a Jane Doe, and we'll go ahead and make some informal relationship between the two. Go ahead and create that, and we'll just say added Jane. Now go ahead and commit that. Now you'll notice we can patch it over here. Now we'll go ahead and patch that, and then if you look at Bob Freemer, he has an H82 over here, and if we look at Bob Freemer over here, oops, oh yeah, I was on him. You'll notice we don't have an age, but we still were able to establish relationships from other people into there. So we're able to create, in our different instances of vGraph, different representations of our nodes and our relationships, but be able to still collaborate together. Now I could add a third person, Jack Ryan. Go ahead and create Mr. Jack Ryan. And let's go ahead and associate him with Bob Freemer as well. Let's see, Jack Ryan to Bob Freemer. Create that relationship. This is Jack Ryan. Let's go ahead and just say added Jack. We'll go ahead and commit that. And you'll notice it'll show up on the right-hand side here. We can go ahead and patch. And there's Jack Ryan. And still, Bob Freemer, his name's not updated. And that's pretty much it. You can go ahead and bounce between this scales to n instances of vGraph. You just centralize your dCap server, and you can send commits back and forth, commit what you want. In a production environment, most of your end users should probably never know about commits. They should kind of happen transparently. So you'll take a set of actions, say you add a person, and you associate like a name and do other operations, maybe representing that as a small subgraph, and then the system, whatever system you use, will go ahead and make a commit behind the scenes once all of those operations on the graph are complete, and that's kind of an atomic chunk that we can pass back and forth to kind of enable collaboration. Another thing you can do, because it's a pure JSON representation and you're talking nodes and edges, is if I have a commit on this side, I can actually do a diff between that commit and my graph and generate a representation of what changed. So kind of like the equivalent of a git diff, and I can say, oh, this person changed his name from this to this. This person was added. This relationship was added. These two relationships were removed. I can see that, and I can, tell the end user here, if you apply this, if you want to accept these changes, go ahead. Or I could even not accept the commit, but take pieces of information from the commit, apply just those to my graph, and issue a commit of my own, saying, oh, I accept a partial representation of what you just said. And then people who are looking at my graph, or are kind of subscribed to me or are interested in my commits, they can pick up that commit I just made and apply it to their graph. So now we have these commits in this dCap service. We can go ahead and kind of collaborate, but we can also maintain our own instances of vGraph and not have to worry about people clobbering our stuff. So there you go. That's the end. I just kind of hit the end. Take care. Have fun.